What? I'm back.
You are back.
I'm back after 2 weeks. I was away.
Welcome back.
I didn't get the chance to tune in last week. How did you welcome everybody back to Lancaster Connects without me?
I don't know.
I hope Lancaster got along okay.
We did just fine. Yeah. 2:00 last Monday.
I felt a little bit of a rift in the ethos.
That you weren't on Lancaster Connects.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Lancaster County sets its clock to Lancaster Connects with Jeff and Ben at 2:00 every Monday.
I agree. It was a great conversation with Brian last week. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I was taking care of my lovely wife. She's 2 weeks today, post-hip replacement, doing very well. So she needed some extra help last week. And so that's where I was. But we're back this week. She's zipping around with one of our standard mobility walkers that make life really great. So if you know somebody that needs some help getting around, both at home, in the car, in their bedroom, in their living room, we have those kinds of products that are really great to help people just move about life a little more efficiently, a little more confidently, a little more safer. So we have those standard mobility products, and their walkers are just fantastic. It's really helped my wife throughout her last year and a half health journey. But anyway, that's kind of went right off on a tangent there. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the show. Yeah.
Ben's like, yeah, see, this is why we like a Jeff break, because Jeff doesn't follow the script.
That's not true. That's not true.
It is. There's always a little.
We don't get these banter moments when it's just solo show.
All right. Well, I'm going to do a mattress tip if that's all right, Diana, and then we'll formally get into it with everything that SWAN is doing. So my mattress tip for you, actually just hot off the floor, literally as I walked in like 12 minutes ago.
Wow.
Talking with a guest, repeat customer, and they were letting me know the reasons they choose Gardeners. And that was because they know our policies. They know how we work with our customers. And I read this often when I'm on online forums, on maybe Facebook groups where people are dissatisfied with their mattress purchase. And it comes down to they just don't know the policies. They don't know, well, what does free and easy returns mean when you see that advertised online? And you see that with a lot of the online mattresses and brands of today, some of which we're a partner of. Well, it's really not easy at all. And in most cases, it's not even really free. There's going to be a shipping charge, maybe a restock fee, et cetera. And so that would be my tip. And this, I think, is a tip for anything you might buy. Really just know what your customer service policies are and aren't. I mean, even we'll appease the lawyers. Even Schmamazon is changing up their policies.
I'm not familiar with that company.
Right. Yeah. Well, they used to do all kinds of fun stuff. Well, now they're constraining that a little bit for various reasons that they know better than you or I do. But the point is, know your policies. For us, we want you to be happy with your mattress. We have our Wake Up Happy guarantee. And so you get to try your mattress out for 120 nights. We do want you to try it for 2 months because it does take time for your body to get used to a new mattress. I equated if you wanted to run a marathon today but hadn't run since high school, you would probably want at least a couple months to like get fit, work out.
I would think so.
And you'd finish that marathon. But if you did it today and you had no quit attitude, you'd finish. You'd pay the price. You'd be sore. You'd be stiff.
So
kind of the same thing. You build up a lot of muscle memory on that old mattress you've been laying on. So it takes a while. So we ask that you do work with us to give it that break-in period, because we might find the right one. It just might take a week or two longer than you'd expect. But if we can't make you happy, and you aren't happy on your purchase, we will take it back. We do have a delivery fee that you pay because we employ our crew, very confident, very good in your home, treat your home with respect, and they're very capable. And then we do have a small handling fee as well. And so you can talk with us about all of that, but those are our policies. So know those fees, know where you're at. And our ultimate goal is to make sure you are happy. So that's my mattress tip for this week.
I like that. I like that. It's great to see a busy store.
Yes.
Busy all month.
It has been busy.
Yeah.
It's because we're serving the people.
That's right.
At the highest level.
Everybody's got to sleep and sleep well.
That's right. Yep.
Diana, welcome back to the show.
It's great to be with you guys. Thank you.
We were talking pre-show. This is at least your third appearance on the show. First time physically in the studio.
Yep. And it's beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And you signed our Lancaster Connects guest board back there. I don't know if it looks like you can kind of see it on the
poster,
on the video.
Come to life.
Yeah, those green squiggles on there. Those are autographs from all of our Lancaster Connects guests since we've been live and in person.
Awesome.
So thanks for signing our board there. So
all of Lancaster's movers and shakers and do-gooders.
wonderful people doing amazing things in the Lancaster community. So Diana Vuolo is representing SWAN, Scaling Walls a Note at a Time. And we're looking forward to catching up on what you've been up to and what you're doing in this upcoming year and beyond. So before we get started, though, we told you pre-show that you have a responsibility.
Oh, yes.
A big responsibility that all of our guests have to participate in.
Get to give Lancaster
that wheel.
It's major award.
There it is.
She just jumped right. I love it.
Love it.
You like jumping off the high dive head first, right?
Get her done. Yeah. Maybe that should be the new
This is like very appropriate.
All right. So that's a $25 donation in your name with any purchase here at Gardner's Mattress and More this week for anybody watching or listening to Lancaster Connects. Come in, make a purchase, and we'll donate to Off the Streets Lancaster.
Yep.
Love that. That's a great one.
Yep, it is. It certainly is.
Yep. Very good. I like it.
Great wheel spin.
So last time you were on with us, we talked about SWAN's mission. There's been a lot that's evolved. What's changed the most since that conversation, and where you're leading SWAN?
Well, thanks for asking that, Jeff. SWAN, of course, is serving children affected by parental incarceration and the resulting trauma. So we are dealing with children who have severe trauma issues. So in addition now to our music program, which we also had added Bible, that's always been part of our program, we now have certified mental health workers that work one-on-one with our students, and they also hold trauma management classes and social emotional classes. The beauty of this program is that we're also now holding 3-hour after-school classes instead of 1-hour after-school classes, so that we can really spend time helping children. And our goal in all of this is to help children heal so they can learn, succeed, and dream. And that really is happening.
I love that. That's a huge difference from 1 hour to 3 hours. There's only so much you can do in an hour. I know coaching baseball, like if we get the kids out there for an hour and a half practice, it's like it's gone before you know it. But 3 hours, that gives you a lot of time with really these kids to make an impact.
And then it runs through the summer, right? So we have a 5-week full day summer music camp. So in that entire day, that's a very impactful program. The nice thing about this is that because we are working with highly traumatized children, if children were to make an appointment if they needed mental health assistance, most of our kids would not be able to get it. But the typical person would have to wait 3 to 6 months to get an appointment.
Wow.
By that time, the statistics are that most children won't show up for that. And if they do, they're not going to talk. But what we did, we've embedded the mental health counselors right into our SWAN 3-hour and hour after school program and the summer camp. And so the mental health workers are actually singing and drumming and being with the kids while they're making music. And
so they're building trust with the kids.
Exactly.
In the activity that brought the kid there in the first place, music.
Right.
Fantastic.
And then if a child triggers, which they do, they will get one-on-one help with somebody they already know and trust. And it's immediate. And then additionally, we have the classes where they learn how to manage their trauma and their response to trauma and their awareness of it. So, yeah, it's a very holistic program.
You have a partnership with the School District of Lancaster, correct?
We do have a partnership. We work within the School District of Lancaster. On our best years, when we can serve 200 children, we actually are in 14 of the schools.
Wow.
Yeah. We took a financial hit this past year. So sadly, we have the staff and the capacity to serve 200, but this year we're serving 70. So we just, it's just the difference that funds make, right? So we have to just make sure that we're increasing our development efforts, which we did. We hired a development director. So that's one of the new things that we've done this year. So when you have a sudden loss of funds, which we had experienced, a lot of organizations did, we just had to get smarter and learn how to work around that, right? We all have challenges, but we have to recover from them.
Where did that loss of funds come from, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, in 2025, Senator Fetterman is very passionate about what we're doing for students affected by parental incarceration for 2 reasons. He's aware of that states are spending exorbitant amounts of money to incarcerate individuals, but there's really no service to help the children. And then he also realizes that there's a mental health crisis among children and that there's a shortage of mental health workers. In America, there's a shortage of 250,000 mental health workers.
Wow. You said 1,000.
Yes, 250,000 deficit.
What is that by state? 5,000 a state? Is that right? 50 times 5,000 would be 250,000.
So that's why you would have to wait so long to get an appointment, right? 3 to 6 months. So he also realized that the children, the demographic that we're working with is just really falling between the cracks. So he wanted to support us with his discretionary funds to the tune of $225,000. And we had been working with him for a couple of years, and it was a go. It was green lights until March when the budget got cut. So suddenly that was pulled out from under us. And then sadly, it also affected those federal cuts, did affect the school district of Lancaster.
Yeah.
And we had a contract with them. They were helping us to fund those mental health workers and transportation. And that was a pretty big part of our budget too. So, even with our due diligence, things like that happen, right?
Yeah.
So painful, but you learn and you get stronger for it. And so here we are now. This year we're running summer camp, and that's a big accomplishment. 5 weeks, full day. The students will have a lot of attention.
Yeah, I was so excited when I saw that email come across for you.
Yeah.
It's great. And, I think people realize life has ups and downs, business has ups and downs. People who serve in the capacity you do as in the charitable outreach and depositing into our community, it's not always sunshine and rainbows.
No, you like that scale to keep going up, but it's not a reality for most of us.
Right. But the reality is the scale is going up.
Yeah.
As a curve, right? It's good. You'll in the history of it, you'll have this little downward blip, but you're going to be a better, stronger organization because you've said you've hired a development director now.
Right.
You'll be a better, stronger organization for the future.
We persevere. We keep going. The cause is a good cause, and the impact has been tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Can you talk about the people who are working with the children? We just saw some images Chris had on the screen here. A guy playing guitar, some people playing other instruments. Who are they? Are they educators? Are they volunteers? And then you also mentioned the mental health care providers. Who are they?
Right. Well, I've always called my team a dream team. Absolutely a dream team. Our teachers are musicians who are trauma informed. Not every musician is, not every music teacher can work with the children that we're working with, but we have very special teachers. Some have been music teachers within the school district of Lancaster, and others have their private studios, but they do a beautiful job working with children. And then we have hired some of the school district of Lancaster's finest mental health and social workers. And so because we work closely with the school district, incorporating some of their teachers as our teachers, we have a really great relationship. It works well for the children. It works well for the school district. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. As we were looking through the photos, this is typical Jeff. I'm out in left field. That when I went to, and we'll talk about your summer celebration coming up, which is great to have that back. Are you back at the farm again?
We are at the farm at Eagles Ridge.
Fantastic. The Her family is great to make that happen for you. There were two brothers at the last one I was at, which that would maybe be this
in
summer?
2024.
Yeah. Are they still doing music and still part of the program? Have they graduated?
They will always be musicians because they're musicians at heart.
Right.
And they're two brothers, right?
Yep.
One plays drums, the other keys, and he also composes.
Wow.
The drummer also break dances. He's awesome. Sadly, this is a sad story because they are still involved with music and could be part of our program, but we had to reduce our enrollment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was where a lot of tears were shed, literally. How do you cut a program so that you can when there's a significant cut in funds, so you can continue the program and then scale back. So, the community is really needed. We missed that when we lost those funds. We have the capacity to serve, and we want to.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they're still on their musical journey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad they're still doing
sure.
what they love. And I think because of what they learned and the opportunity given to them by SWAN, they're probably stronger through that little bit of adversity of saying, hey, we can't enroll you right now, but you gave them those skills while you were together to persevere.
And they continue being active in the school district, which is great.
Awesome.
They're playing sports, they're probably playing with musical groups. So that's great. We do have two brothers, another set of brothers who are doing remarkably well. But we had, when we lost those funds, as I call my dream team, a lot of them stepped up to volunteer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a lot of kids' lessons were sustained because their teachers were able to volunteer. And I never asked them to.
Right.
Yeah. People just stepped up. Pretty cool.
That's a big shout out to the dream team at SWAN.
Yep.
So thank you for being an amazing dream team of people. I guess that kind of goes into our next question about how SWAN blends mentorship, personal growth, music. What's special about that than maybe just a program through one of those verticals from your view?
Right. I think the combination is the magic, really. It's the power. So it's music, Bible, and mental health. When students whose lives are in a bit of confusion, for sure, turmoil, uncertainty, they're coming to an after-school class or a summer music camp that is characterized by peace and order. You're not going to hear teachers shouting, yelling, try to gain control. We do it musically, actually. We have calls and responses. Somebody might start a drum beat and they know the response to it. And pretty soon we've got the whole call and response going, and everybody's focused without a word. Right.
Oh,
and it's fun. The peace and the joy, I think that really comes, the children love their Bible classes. Honestly, I say our most powerful language as people is love. They can feel it. They know it. Yeah. They'll come to the after school class. They'll get a healthy after school snack. They get one-on-one homework help. We get one-on-one music lessons. So they're getting that personal attention, and with the mental health workers, as well as group music lessons and group mental health. So that's really powerful. Now, music does so much. We've had children that come that are selectively mute from trauma, where they could talk before. Now they can't talk. Just last spring, we had a little boy in 5th grade. He came in, and this is how it works, right? So he comes into this environment and he had no words, no facial expression whatsoever, no engagement. He was just there.
So just shut down.
Just
from everything
completely
that's
shut down.
Gone on at home, who he's lost in his life.
Exactly.
To incarceration. Okay. So
through music, within one semester, the child started participating by singing. I went to his first performance, and it was the first time I ever saw him smile. He actually performed an entire program, and he was smiling afterward. Now, this year, he is talking, he's interacting, and there's been total transformation. He is in 6th grade, and now loves being a big brother to the 2nd graders. He's actually helping and other children going through difficulties. He's a real helper in class. So, I mean, it's total transformation. But it is that combination of music, mental health, and Bible. It's really magical.
On that young man's story that you shared, does his transformation also shift into the classroom at school?
Oh,
what you hear?
I'm sure it does.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not in those classrooms.
Right.
But when a child can make that kind of transformation and even be on stage and perform for others,
right, yeah.
And smile and interact, it makes a great impact. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a follow-up question there. So had this boy not had the services that SWAN offers, what would his future have looked like?
Well, with selective mutism, that can last into adulthood. And of course, there's a whole shutdown of the body and the lack of ability to respond. So it does need to be, I don't know how it heals. Actually, I'm a musician. I'm not the mental health worker, but we've had other children too. We had one child who was selectively mute for 3 years.
Wow.
And his mother said he was very angry as well. And so she signed him up for SWAN. And after 3 years, within weeks, this child was talking.
It's amazing.
And he was running home to his grandmother, excited about what he was learning on the guitar and showing her all the new chords. So there was, I don't know exactly what happened.
It just unlocked for him.
It reset his brain. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the power of music and the power of people caring.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Very safe environment.
Yeah.
I really hope that recording this, getting out there, will. I'll make sure on this one I really spend some time. I'm going to personally tag in Fetterman, and I connected you. That's Senator John Fetterman. That is. Mm-hmm. I said it like I played football with Fetterman back in the day. Yeah, Senator John Fetterman. With all due respect, those kinds of results are really what needs to happen. Not only with SWAN and your 3 hours a day, but man, we have got to get kids better connected in their educational day with things that awaken them and really light a fire. It's not always going to be music. It's not always going to be vocational hands-on work. It could be math for some. It could be science for others.
It could be theater.
Could be theater, right. And that brings me to the next name of the state senator or state representative I connected you with, Joe Searcy. This was remember when they were, the State House was talking about taking EITC off the table?
Yes.
And I made that connection. I think that's his name.
And EITC is a tremendous way to leverage your Pennsylvania state taxes toward a nonprofit organization.
Yeah. We'll touch on that for sure before we wrap. But my point in this is, man, if you know, I'm going to look right in the camera. If you know are connected to anybody in Pennsylvania Education Association in the system, we have got to get children connected to what ignites them and gives them passion in their day. You're hearing it right from Diana. You can see it in the video. And this is in the time after class. We've got to rethink how we teach kids and engage kids. And it's long overdue. This isn't a post-COVID thing. Mm-hmm. This is long overdue in my view. Mm-hmm. And it transcends so many different things in our society. If we could get this right, we could fix a lot of things. I'm positive of it because you're doing it in 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
After a kid has been at school all day, right? A little tired. We're tired after work here, right? You're tired after your day. You're a teenager who doesn't have any of the issues that the kids present with at SWAN, right? You might have a child that has two parents at home, right? And your kid's tired. So they've gone through their day. They might not have the best meals. Might not have any food at home. You said
there's a lot of food shortage.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And yet all this good that's coming out of that 3 hours, because we're finding that spark, we're finding that passion.
We've seen remarkable transition and transformation in 1 hour, and I'll just explain real quickly an impact story. Our students were going to perform their very first performance with SWAN at the Water Street Mission for dinner time. It was a February day. It was really freezing cold, and when the children were all entering into the kitchen where they were going to be performing, the line for dinner was from the front of the kitchen all the way to the back of the kitchen, out the door and around the block. So as the kids were coming in, they saw their audience and all these people, right? When they got to the front, they go, we're not doing this. And it only takes one to say, no, we're going home. And then of course they all want to go home. And they had a 20-minute performance. We had an hour. I didn't tell them they'd be performing it 3 times. I was just trying to get them to do it once.
That's right.
So we refocused them. We said, look, this isn't about you. Sorry. It's about them. And you could put one smile on one person's face. That's why you're here. And so let's do this. And we did. Then they were getting their coats thinking they were going. I said, we have time. We're going to do it again. second time, but this time we're going to lengthen, broaden, spread out instead of huddle. Like I'm scared to death and smile more, which they did. And then we had time to do it a third time. By the third time, the kids who had come in saying, no, we're not doing this, took the microphone and said, we're so glad you're here.
Wow. They were hamming it
Thanks
up.
for being here.
Nice.
They took control of the stage. So we saw from, being scared to having courage and confidence within 1 hour.
Yeah.
Transformational and for the classroom, right?
Yeah.
When they have to get up and do an oral report, they know they can. Even if their first interview for their first job, they know they can, because being on stage is a big deal. We have them learn the same program and perform it even 10 times.
Yeah.
So that gives them that confidence. It's transforming.
That's awesome. Jeff and I have both witnessed some of your performances, some of the SWAN performances, both at the
farm at Eagles Ridge. I know you were there.
To wrap up your summer program. That was for a charity event.
Yes.
Yeah. But we've both been witness to the kids performing. For those who haven't seen a SWAN performance, what can people expect, and what might surprise people about these performances?
Yeah, I would just say the joy that the kids bring is remarkable. I don't know how they do it. I know in our summer camp, the last performance you heard, Ben, there were 8 homeless children in that group. You would have never known it.
Oh, wow.
And we discovered that they were homeless. The school district didn't know it. So that's why when we couldn't have summer camp last year, it was really painful because we knew that there were a lot of needs that needed to be discovered and addressed. I think they bring so much joy. But the other thing that happens is the community connection with them. If mom or dad or both are using illicit drugs, wandering off, just aiming to get that next fix, they might be also selling or trafficking. That means that the child's world becomes suddenly very, very small. They're not allowed to talk to people. They're not allowed to know their neighbors. They're not allowed to walk in the front door. They have to slither through to the back door. And it just compiles, there's so much. When they're in the community performing for others and they see people dancing to their music, and maybe an ice cream truck, when we perform outdoors for Music Friday, an ice cream truck might give free ice cream cones to everybody, and people are clapping, and they're getting another broader perspective, a healthy perspective of community. So it goes both ways. I think they spread a lot of joy. There's always people smiling. But then they get the joy and the benefits of the community giving back to them as they appreciate their music.
Yeah.
We're just looking at some images here of some of the students playing drums.
Yeah.
What are some of what we witnessed was a vocal presentation, and there we saw the boy playing drums there, and you mentioned boy learning guitar. What other instruments can they interact with? Well,
we have all the string instruments, so violin, viola, cello, and bass, guitar and ukuleles. We have clarinets and trombones, and really whatever talent comes our way as far as music teachers, they're able to teach. And some of the school district music teachers are able to teach more than one instrument.
Sure.
We can help them. Clarinet is another one. Yep.
Do you have any students that have taken music beyond the school level?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us a story or two.
Well, we had a student who we met her when she was living in the Youth Intervention Center, which is prison, not because she had done anything wrong, but because there was no foster care for her. And she was 16 at the time, and so we were giving her private voice lessons, gorgeous voice. And literally, when I would have to pick her up and take her to her voice lesson, and I made sure I took her out to dinner first, and then we had voice lesson, then we went out for ice cream, and then we took her back because it wasn't a great place to live. But I had her singing in front of 700 people. I would get her from the Youth Intervention Center where she had her prison grays on, and we'd hit the mall. We'd go shopping for her performance attire, and then I'd take her and she'd perform and just shine on stage. She even did so well on national radio that somebody who had a connection with America's Got Talent connected us with them.
Wow.
And they wanted her first audition through video, which we gave them. Then they wanted a second one. And so we can take the students far. We have another student who has got a superhero for her grandmother, and his first performance was outside the Ware Center on a Music Friday. And after he finished his little ode to joy from his first year piano, the audience, the community just exploded with cheers.
So cool.
And he decided, I'm going to be a pianist. And now he's performing on grand pianos on concert stages. So, yeah,
Wow.
They can go far.
Wow. That's awesome.
It is.
How long, because it just isn't coming to mind, how long has SWAN been in operation for?
For 15 years.
Wow. Yeah. So you definitely have alumni and graduates of the program.
Yes, we do.
What's the furthest that one of your, geography that one of your alumni has moved away and is enjoying life?
Right. We have one of our first students ended up getting a full scholarship to study music and art therapy at Edinburgh University in Pittsburgh, near Pittsburgh. So that was the furthest that I know of.
Yeah.
And she just wanted to be able to do for others what we had done for her. And so she went into therapy.
Wow.
Very nice. Very cool. Circling back, part of the 3 hours together is the Bible study aspect of things. Share with everybody, why is that important to you, to SWAN? Why do you see it as such an instrumental part of the program?
Well, thanks for asking that. It's important to me because it saved my life. I'm one of these kids. So I grew up in a home where there was a lot of violence. I thought one of us was going to get killed at some point. The way I would escape from harm would be to close my door and start practicing my violin. And my father would go right past my door. And if I was practicing, so I practiced a lot, I became an overachiever. And then from that little row home in Wilmington, Delaware, I literally received a full scholarship to study with the top teacher in the world. Her name is Dorothy DeLay. So that airlifted me safely out of a very difficult situation. Once I was in Philadelphia studying with her, although she taught at Juilliard, she also taught in Philadelphia. Once I was in Philadelphia studying with her, my colleagues introduced me to the gospel and the Bible, that message. And again, it was redeeming in so many ways. I would say the Bible and music saved my life. And I want to be able to give that to others. As a result of that, my life took wonderful turns as I got involved in a church. I met the kindest man in the universe, who was my husband. So what a transformation, right? From an abusive home life to one that was very safe. I knew I'd be marrying the father of my children, and so grateful. So it was very much a turning point. And I find that the children have, because we are also spiritual beings, they have questions that need answers. And I really do believe that the Bible has the answers, and that's what we share. When we had summer camp last in 2024, we asked them, what's your favorite class in the afternoon? And the majority of them said the Bible class.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. How does that run up? I guess being an after-school program, there isn't any conflict with the school, with Bible study in the school?
There is not, because we are an after-school program.
Because it's after school. Yep. Okay. And I mean, there's Bible club and
Bible to school.
My son's in his high school, Key Club is what it's called.
Okay.
So there's clubs that are in school too. But that's so cool that the kids are energized and connected.
They are.
That way.
Absolutely.
That's great. Have any of them jumped into ministry as a result of their time with you at SWAN?
Not that I know of, not yet.
But
I also
spiritually connected.
I think this is pretty remarkable. I don't know of one of our students that has ever landed in prison, which is very remarkable.
I just got goosebumps on that one. Literally. I don't know if our high-def camera can pick it up, but
maybe when we add a second and third camera.
Yeah.
Little subtle hint to our producer there from what we talked about pre-show. So let's say that again.
I'm not aware of one of our students in the past 15 years that have ever landed in prison.
Because that's amazing.
That's a remark, and that's why I got goosebumps. That's a remarkable stat.
Mm-hmm.
Just again, considering the environment that you shared about the students that come through SWAN.
We are really trying to break that cycle.
Trying. I think you're doing it.
Might be doing it.
Not we. Diana's like, what, do you got a mouse in your pocket, Jeff? No.
Well, you're part of it because we can't run without the community.
Yeah,
right.
No.
Well, we're just a minuscule part. So not once that you're aware of.
Not that I'm aware of.
So how many students have come through in that time?
Oh, I think we're upwards of 1,000 or more for sure.
Wow. I mean, just like,
I got to imagine the statistics. Like, you take 1,000 kids who have incarcerated parents. There's got to be a percentage of those kids who become incarcerated themselves. It's got to be a fairly high percentage, I would think.
That's what I wanted to touch on. Like, y'all do realize when the news talks about polling says 72% of Americans think this, they're asking about 1,000 people for a nation of 330 million.
Yeah.
Right here, Diana was SWAN in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and surrounding area, serving school district of Lancaster. 1,000 real life children in our backyard with parents, at least one parent incarcerated, often
it could
both.
Be both. Mm-hmm.
At times multiple generations, and more than once. So repeat. So the stats are not in these kids' favor.
No.
At all. So I just paint that picture of a number of 1,000, right? Here's a poll that drives so much of our society. You're really in dumb news media soundbite based on 1,000 people's opinions. And here's Diana with SWAN with 1,000 children in our backyard. Mm-hmm. And you've changed them. Broken those generational cycles. That's just powerful. Well, kudos to you and your dream team.
Oh, we're so grateful to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Let's talk about your summer program. So you've done it for a number of years, and then it went away, unfortunately.
Sadly, last summer,
and now it's back.
It's back.
So maybe talk a little bit about what the summer program is, and what it's meant to some of these kids, and then the fact that it went away and now it's back. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we can enroll about 35 to 40 children for that. It's a lot of hands-on. When the children come, they're divided by age groups. They'll get a private one-on-one music lesson and group music. They have private one-on-one counseling from mentors, mental health counselors, and group classes as far as social emotional classes, trauma management, Bible. They also get art and dance and movement, and they learn an entire 30-minute program, which they perform many times through the summer. So that repeat performance, which each time they perform the same performance, they gain more confidence.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. We have partners such as Sight and Sound who will give us tickets so that our children as a field trip can see their production.
That's cool.
It really is cool. They look forward to that.
That's got to be pretty eye-opening.
It is. Yeah. And then the Lancaster Symphony sometimes will give us perks and tickets during the school year. But yeah, they just get a very enriching time when you think now it's from 8 o'clock in the morning till around 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon. All that time, there's no devices, there's no video games, there's meaningful interaction and learning taking place.
Well, it's more than the devices not being present. It's the stresses of their home life.
That's present. True. It's orderly, it's predictable, it's faithful, that's consistent.
Yeah. And I wanted to we'll get back to the summer and summer celebration, but I made a note also about that 3 hours.
Yeah.
Again, let's be real vocal and real with the numbers. 1 hour to 3 hours. Yeah. Hold my 3 fingers up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 3 times the amount of time, but it's even more important because figure a kid gets done with school, about 4 o'clock by the time they would get off the bus or walk home.
Right.
Right. probably fair estimation.
Mhm.
So if they were with you for only 1 hour, well, now they're getting home at 5:15, 5:30. But now that 3 hours,
It's really till 6, from about 3:15 to 6:15.
right? So now that 3 hours just pushes into that time at home that might not be as supportive as it could be or needs to be.
Oh, well, for one of our students this year, because they have the one-on-one homework help, we discovered that she couldn't read, and she's in 4th grade.
Oh my goodness!
But because we have also educators, one of the educators said, I don't think it's an intellectual problem. I really believe she has a problem with her eyes. And one of our donors, who is a classroom assistant, said, I'll take care of that. I'll make sure she sees a specialist. And she does have an eye processing problem, which can be helped, and she will be reading. So, that after school time, having the time to have homework help and still get the music done and everything else done, that one-on-one time, we were able to focus in on something which, if you can imagine not being able to read in 4th grade, it's going to affect your whole life.
Oh, yeah.
And then somebody who's willing to make an investment with her finances to support a specialist, I think it's extraordinary. It makes me cry when I think about it.
It just is. And
she'll read.
And like, for that child at 4th grade, how old are you in 4th grade? 9? Is that 9 years old? 10?
Yeah,
9.
9, 8. Yeah.
I mean,
Depending on age.
by that point, you're starting to kind of form yourself a little bit as a child. And what have you heard if you're not able to read and comprehend?
Yeah. You really feel stupid, really.
Exactly. And I was going to say, not to knock teachers. Teachers are great, but they're busy.
Yes.
And, maybe the child picks up some frustration from the teacher and from the school environment.
Oh, it doesn't take long to have it.
And it just goes downhill so fast. And that's where that 3 hours that I wanted to wrap up on is just so important, because you're pushing into that time. School is a blessing for a lot of these kids, because again, they're out of that rougher home environment. They're getting a couple meals in breakfast and lunch. They have after school snack with you, but you're just pushing into that time. Not that I'm suggesting SWAN replace a family. But I'm saying the SWAN replaces that rough time that a kid experiences that doesn't deserve to.
Yeah. And what about in a classroom? There's a full classroom and a child will trigger emotionally, go from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
What happens then, right? So what we're doing is a lot of emotional regulation and giving them techniques to do so. And now we have a child who's so good at regulating her emotions now that she's helping younger children to do it. So, and that's tremendously helpful in a classroom.
Yeah.
So, how can the community support what you're doing with SWAN?
Well, we would love for the community to visit our website at swan4kids.org. There's so many ways. Become a monthly donor. I know that when you hear about something like this, I know people are motivated when they hear how we're helping children, but life is busy and we get distracted. So we might be listening to the podcast, and then what happens 3 hours from now, we're so involved in what we're doing, we forget. But if you make that commitment to a monthly donation, that's just giving to SWAN. You're impacting and giving to SWAN every month. It makes a difference. The other reasons why we're down to 70 students, but we have the capacity for 200 students, is because we are giving a 3-hour after school class, which is a lot more expensive, right? And so now that we would prefer to give the children all that they need, and then believe that the community will start being able to support us so that we can serve 200. And then 5 years from now, I would love to be able to scale this to having more than one summer camp and in more locations, of course. So that's the goal. And that's how we do it, through donations and through the Educational Improvement Tax Credit, EITC.
Yeah. So I'll touch on that. Is that all right? Okay. I didn't see that on our questions list, but I'll touch on it.
Go for it.
So EITC is a really great thing. So if you're a business in the state of Pennsylvania and you have tax liability to the state at the end of the year, which actually is coming up in 2 days.
Sure.
But make a mental note. As Diana said, you leave the podcast, so go be a monthly donor. But as a business, you would need to enroll. And Diana's site is fantastic. The best that I've seen at communicating this. Gives you all the steps. So it's right on their site. You have to basically enroll. It's July 1. Is that correct?
Yes, you have to have all your documents ready because it's first come, first serve. And if you can have your docs ready and then just hit that submit button on July 1st, you will get your tax credit.
Yep.
Our grant writer will even help you. So just contact us. You can.
World-class support for the kids and for business owners. So essentially the nuts and bolts of the way this program works is, let's just use round numbers and say you would have $10,000 in tax liability to the state. Based on your commitment level, number of years, you can ultimately get a $9,000
tax credit
back when you commit to writing that $9,000 to SWAN.
10 grand, you'll get a $9,000 tax credit, but that other $1,000 that you donated to SWAN is also a tax write-off.
There you go. Yep. So it's just a tremendous program that when they wanted to take away, I immediately thought of Diana. I'm like, no. I wrote Joe, who co-sponsored. I said, look here, man, you're not doing this. And I was pretty forceful.
And they didn't.
and they didn't. And then, Joe woke up to it because I should, again, with respect to Senator Fenneman, I should say Representative Searcy. Sorry, Joe. Representative Searcy. And he's very down to earth for a state congressman too. So I don't think he would be offended by me saying Joe. But at any rate, Representative Searcy, as we got to talk, and he's very into theater and the arts himself. And so he became connected to the mission. And, there was a lot of reasons why it was proposed, but I think they thought it through a little more. It's a fantastic program. Please, 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 as a business owner, if you're listening, and it doesn't need to be $10,000 of liability. It could be $1,000.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Please go to the site. Diana and her team have done a great job of explaining it. And you basically, rather than your 10 grand going into the state coffers, you can direct a big chunk of it locally right to your backyard. You get to meet Diana right here. You get to see the wonderful kids on the website. Check them out at the Ware Center or wherever they are, quote unquote, on tour. Maybe even you get an invite to summer celebration, and you get to see the fruits of your tax dollars being put to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the reason. That's the reason to go through it. It's not hard. Take some time and planning. Go to the website, swanforkids.org. There's an EITC page right there. Just check that out.
Thank you.
Did I do it? Did I do it justice?
You did a perfect job. Thank you.
Okay. Anything to add that I missed? I love that your grant writer helps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So really, it couldn't be easier. So
if somebody's CPA wanted to talk to your grant writer to better understand, they could make that connection.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
If somebody's watching or listening who has music talent or maybe teaching talent or has skills in mental health rehabilitation, can you use their services?
We absolutely can.
And what's that process look like?
They would just connect with SWAN through our website, and our emails are there, and we will connect right back with them. We do have some students who are studying privately with teachers who have their own private studios.
Okay. Yeah.
And those children are making remarkable progress. They have the one-on-one lessons. We're paying for them.
Okay.
Making great progress. Yeah, we'd like to serve as many kids as possible.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I would imagine they have to get all of their background checks and clearances,
right.
All that good stuff. And you do your own vetting. You make sure it's a right fit. Make sure its heart's in the right place, mind's in the right place, everything's aligned. But yes, you will welcome anybody who would like to volunteer. I kind of say it that way. I think people can hear this stuff like, I want in. And it's like, SWAN wants you in, but also let's understand we're impacting kids' lives who are very vulnerable.
Right.
It would be a disservice to the kids to start something and then have you say, oh, well, actually, I'm leaving town in July.
Exactly.
I'm moving away.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like big brother, big sister. There's these relationships that form.
You're exactly right.
So please, if you volunteer, make sure committed,
faithful,
long term. Yeah, faithful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. again, not to dissuade you. I have that abrupt tone about me. I'm sorry. It's just me, but
I thought that was pretty well balanced.
Yeah, but
that's
it's just
exactly right.
It's meant, the heart it's
I
meant to
hear
come
your
from the
heart.
right
Yeah,
place.
it
Like
is.
we're here to serve these kids, and man, to have that ripped away is just rough.
It is hard. Children need that consistency, and that's the thing.
That's what we're missing the most.
We do pay our teachers for that very reason, because when we have volunteers, I say our 2 words to volunteers are thank you. If they want to go away for 5 months, have a great trip. But when we're contracting, we contract our teachers and pay because we need that faithfulness for the kids' sake.
Yeah. So summer celebration, let's focus in on that. July 22nd.
Yes.
The farm at Eagles Ridge.
Isn't that a beautiful location?
It's an awesome location. Times?
Yes. Well, at 5:30, the celebration begins. And I always say that you will come to this celebration, maybe busy from work or whatever, but you are going to leave differently than when you came. First of all, there's this beautiful long lane that you come to enter this beautiful, pristine gardens and venue. So by the time they get down from their workplace and come to the venue, they're already feeling great. But then they get to meet the SWAN community members, and then hear our kids perform. And the audience just has erupted in just cheers and enthusiasm, and the kids love it. They high-five the kids all the way in and all the way out of the performance. And then we have a wonderful dinner and just a great time together that evening. So you will be blessed, and you'll be able to bless us through that as well. Please come.
Yeah. And you can sponsor the event. There's sponsorship opportunities available there. You can just get tickets to come and watch as well. Are you doing that by the table, or is it by individual ticket?
We have people buying individual tickets and tables.
Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I would say there on a table thing, if as a company you do things where you do a give back of dollars to something that your employees are connected to, and you might want to suggest this is something your employees get to connected to. Maybe getting a table is a great way to make that introduction, right? And see if your employees are moved again, because if it's their dollars being given back, they need to be involved. But this would be a great way to maybe get that intro to SWAN if you've yet to experience SWAN beyond our time here today.
Yeah, they'll definitely be impacted. You come in one way, you leave very inspired and impacted.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, for sure. You come in the one lane road one way, but you leave out the same road.
Yeah,
very inspired. I love that. That's great. That's great. So, and time again, 5:30 to about 8? 9. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to recall. Yeah, it's just a great time.
And they get a wonderful dinner.
You do. So
I do remember that.
Tasty hors d'oeuvres. Yep. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's continue on here. The future. Oh my goodness, we are moving along. I just looked at my phone.
I swear, every time we say
these in studio ones,
45 minutes is like boom.
Maybe we just need to do like the 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Hey, 1 hour to 3 hours, just like SWAN. At any rate, what do you want to see for the next handful of years?
Oh, what I want to see is to be able to serve many more than 200 children. Maybe we could be running more than one summer camp, be in more locations, and even expand beyond the school district of Lancaster. So scale this. Actually, there's not one city in the United States that doesn't need a SWAN.
Yeah.
So that would be my dream.
A very worthy dream, for sure. For sure. I mean, especially with that number, about 1,000 kids have come through into your knowledge.
Yeah, and we started very small. But 1 in 14 children in the United States has had a parent in prison at some point in their life. So this is, and there's trauma associated with that for sure.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Diana, this has been a pleasure, as always.
It's always a joy.
Thank you for being amazing and giving all your God-given talents to these kids and showing them a great 3 hours in their day with you and waking them up to music and faith and the spirit.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The community just makes it happen.
Okay. Love it. Well, swanforkids.org. Ben touched on talents, okay, which also coordinates with time. So please, if you can volunteer with SWAN, go to the website and follow through on the volunteer page. I'm going to just blatantly talk about Treasure. Diana made the appeal already about if you could be a monthly subscriber, that really helps them, or monthly donor, that is, really helps them. And again, goes to the kids. And you get to see that right here. You can see it in their live performances. If you can sponsor a summer celebration, if you can, even on your website, you have some things of this many dollars buys this many instruments, right? So
yeah, I think that's cool.
If you're a guitarist and you want to buy guitars, please, by all means, do that. They can always use and put your dollars to great use. So please, swanforkids.org. We would love for you to do that. I think it's Connection Cocktail time. Get to know Diana just a little bit more. You're
pretty familiar with this process.
I think so.
The questions are a little different this time around. This is an interesting question since you're a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're on a long drive, are you listening to a podcast, music, audiobook?
It might surprise you that as a musician, I love quiet.
Ah, okay.
Because I think by nature, I'm an introvert. So when I'm out and being an extrovert and connecting, when I'm in my car or on a walk, quiet is good. But I do listen to music. Of course, I do love classical music. Yep. I love Christian music. And actually, I listen to your podcast. So it doesn't, I love what you're doing.
This voice filling your ears.
Well, the passion for what you do and how you love other organizations that connect with community. Yeah, and so you're investing back in, and that really means a lot to me. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the support. That's means a lot.
Yeah. All right. If your friends had to describe you using one word outside of work, what would that word be?
I think the one characteristic word I really work hard at is faithfulness, because I know the importance of investing in either our family or our community members, our friends, and the students that we serve. So I've always liked to say that if I say that I'm going to do something, I do it, and if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. So being faithful and keeping up with relationships, I enjoy that.
Yeah,
I think that's a good fit.
Yeah.
What local business do you love supporting in Lancaster that people should know about?
Well, of course, the farm at Eagles Ridge is very kind to us. They are very generous in letting us use their venue. So I love what they do. And then because we don't even need an office, we don't run an office, I do a lot of business meetings at the coffee company. And they've got several.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
You'll often see us there.
Yeah, I think there's 4, 5, 6 locations around the county.
And they do a great job.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite coffee drink there?
Yeah, I do. It's a decaf. I'm a sissy when it comes to coffee.
Okay. I thought you were going to say like a triple mocha espresso.
No, I'll do a decaf latte, but it's got to be decaf. Otherwise, I'll be thinking about coffee company at 3 a.m.
Gotcha.
Yep.
There's where I draw a line.
All right. So this one ties into what's happening this year as we would culminate America's 250th birthday celebration. So from your view, what makes America so great?
I love America, and it's been such an honor and privilege to be born in what I believe is the greatest country in the world. What has been most meaningful to me is my religious freedom. The Bible and my practice of my faith does define me, and I don't know that I think that everything I do for community really comes from that freedom that I have. So that's very precious to me.
Love it. Love that.
That's
one.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
We're going to be pulling those out, those moments right there out. And I'm working with our team, and we'll be sharing those out more and more with more and more focus as we get closer to July, which, is 3 months away.
It's almost summer.
It's like, didn't we just have New Year's Eve? But here we are.
Well, of course, we're going from what was like 30 and 40 degrees last week, and now this week it's going to be almost 90.
Yeah, and then I see on the McWeather app on the phone, it's like there's 30s again on the other side of that.
Don't say that.
Yeah. All right. Well, Diana, thank you so much for playing along on Connection Cocktail and being just amazing with everything you're doing at SWAN, swanforkids.org. We're going to wrap up, land the airplane here, so to say. My sleep better tip for you before we head off is one I just did last night. We had a very busy weekend, and I was like on this high vibrational energy, if you will. And I decluttered the bedroom. I put laundry away, decluttered our bedroom, kind of moved some things around, made it a little more peaceful. And so spending time thinking about the sleep environment. So blackout shades, even the color of paint on your walls can help the mood. White noise. Steph and I have this wonderful, we have it here at the store, a sleep fitter airflow topper that reverse air moves underneath you. It's very cool. You feel cool. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's just neutral. And because of that fan, there's this white noise in that, and I love it. Lack of blue light. So we got a lot of light at us right now here in the studio, but picking up the phone and putting it down, picking up the phone, putting it down, you're confusing your brain. Your brain's thinking it's time to wake up. Okay. So really thinking intentionally about your sleep environment, decluttering things. If it's not needed in your bedroom, if it's going to cause stress, remind you of something, when you want to be winding down, maybe just take it out of the bedroom. That would be my sleep better tip for this week.
Nicely done. All right. Testimonial time here for Gardner's Mattress and More. I don't think we mentioned Gardner's at the beginning of the show.
Well, it's right behind Diana. It's right there.
There we go.
On the screen.
So Gardner's Mattress and More, 830 Plaza Boulevard. It is the business that Jeff and I co-own together, and the reason why Lancaster Connects exists. Of course, Lancaster Connects exists for our guests, wonderful guests as well. But testimonial from a satisfied customer of Gardner's, Tom here on Google, wrote the other day that he read the reviews, which we see that often. It's kind of like a challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
People read good reviews and they want to know if they're real or not. Tom said they're real. He decided to give Gardner's a try. Drew was extremely helpful and made sure that I tried several mattresses before I made any decisions. There was no push for a sale. He wanted to make sure I purchased the right mattress for me. I like that they they also provide service if needed, and that their own employees will deliver the product. That is correct, Evan. And now Cody. Cody's a new team member with us.
Brand new today.
Yeah, first day on the job. And Evan is relatively new, but fitting in fantastically. So
he is.
We have got a growing team here. So, yep, we deliver the product. And Tom says, thanks for a great experience. So thank you, Tom. Thanks for your trust in Gardner's and your kind words on the interwebs.
Yep. Thank you. Diana, thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Swanforkids.org. One last time, please go to the website. Give you a lot of things to think about. One, be a monthly donor, even if it's $10 or $20. Obviously, the more, the better. But whatever you can do and commit to would be tremendous. Summer celebration, July 22nd, beginning at 5:30. You can buy a single ticket or a whole table, or you could choose to sponsor it. Please do that. And again, if you're somebody that has the skills and the talents to support the programming, please go to the volunteer section at swanforkids.org. And if you're a business, since it's tax time, right on the brain, think about that. Tap into the EITC program. Again, all outlined on swanforkids.org. And you can get in line for that July 1 enrollment to give back to Swan for Kids through the EITC program. Diana, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much again.
All right.
It's great having you in the studio.
And we'll see everybody else next Monday right here. Same Lancaster Connects time, same Lancaster Connects channel, 2:00. See you then.